All right, let's talk about the Shock and not the Shock, but Shock, the team in the Shock. So playing against Washington Adventist, the coach, I know you had talked about beforehand how we didn't really know a whole ton about them, hadn't obviously played them before. So knowing what we knew about them from a scouting perspective, what was the strategy and game plan coming into the game?
Well, we were going to play some man-to-man defense against them. Try not to give up too many shots inside and force them to play outside and shoot, and make them beat us from out there. And the first half, they were shooting a decent percentage. They run a lot of ball screens, we found out, and didn't see a lot of that ahead of time, but knew that that's something we work on defensively, and needed to improve on that throughout the course of the game. We worked on it. We saw sometimes we did it well and sometimes we didn't. But a good early season game for us to work on those things. But we kind of feel them out during the game and figured out things as we went along.
Offensively, when it really started to click, I feel like, is when we started to get the ball inside to Amanda and other post players and allow the offense to kind of feed from there. How do you feel like we did that offensively?
Yeah, there were a couple of us on the team, especially. That's always, they're in a zone, and anytime we're in a zone, we're not going to settle for the outside shot. We're going to try to get that ball into the post, and whether that's high post or low post, we're focused on that. We didn't do a real great job of it. Felt like some of us were better than others. They also pressured us up even in the zone, and so doing that, you saw us in the second half especially, taking a couple bounces from the perimeter and then feeding the post, creating some space by taking them off the dribble. If they're going to pressure that far from the basket, we've got to be able to do that. And we did a lot better job in the second half of doing that, and then bounce passing into the post. And obviously then good things happen, whether that's the post converting or making the defense collapse and then hitting the open player.
Mandy, we'll go to you next. Pass the mic down to her. Mandy, 20 rebounds tonight, 13 points. Coming into the season, we lost Kendra, who was a big rebounding presence for us last year. Julia, who did well in rebounding, and you got 20 rebounds tonight. So just talk about your mentality coming into the season, and then even into this game of being the kind of the post presence for us.
Well, coming into the season, after talking probably the first week, I made it my goal to really work on the rebounds and focus on rebounds. So that clearly showed tonight. Just this game, I guess I was really nervous coming into it, but I just decided to put that all away and just work hard, do my best.
Defensively, they had some bigger players down low that really stretched their offense out wide. So defensively, just talk about, again, your mentality of what it took to guard those players tonight.
Really, you just got to work hard. I tried to stay more towards the inside because it didn't look like they could shoot much or as well outside as they could inside. So just tried to stay on the inside of them and then be in a good help position to help with people that were driving into the lane. So.
Okay. Hannah, we'll go over to you next. Kind of following up on a question I asked Coach, but at what point in the game did you start to realize our offense is going to work so much more effective when we get the ball down low and let it kind of run from there?
I think just like at halftime, Coach really harps on us to get the ball in the post because it really makes people collapse, and we can, like he's just said, kick it out for our shooters. So it just really helps our offense get going. And once, Breezy gets on a roll and Mandy gets on a roll, it's just a beautiful thing to see. So I love it when we can get it down there to them and they can do work. So and they definitely did tonight.
It's 2 wins in a row for us, back-to-back wins.
Yes.
Going into next week, we'll be on the road. I guess it's in Florida, so it's not too bad. But going on the road, what do we got to take from tonight into the games this weekend?
I think just really to remember that we just play together as a team and that we can do anything. And like Manny said, to work hard and just to focus on one game at a time and just prepare ourselves and not worry so much about the other team, but just do what we can do best.
Coach, kind of a closing question for us. If you had to look at one or two things that were the difference makers tonight, what would you say are what was that tonight?
Well, we had one of our goals going into the game, game-specific goal, was out-rebound them by 10. Going into the fourth quarter, we were ahead by 1, and we ended up winning that goal, being successful there, 45-35. So we out-rebounded them in the fourth quarter by 9, and that was there was a lot of things in this game that as a coach, I look at and think we've got to improve on. But we did some little things, especially when it counted there in the fourth quarter. Out rebounding by 9 and just in one quarter alone is really, really good. So, that's kind of a microcosm of the game where we did a lot of little things right. We didn't reward ourselves a lot of times. Our last second play we ran was perfect, and we ran it really well. Missed the shot, but again, those results, that's not what we're worried about. We're worried about the process. And so while there's a lot of things in the entire process of the game that a lot of little things we can look at, we got to improve on, overall, when it counted, we did a lot of little things right, like those scrappy rebounds that Mandy got, or just playing really good defense. We improved our on the ball screen defense a lot throughout the course of the game, and it showed there in the last quarter.